Well, it's a crowded room here in Cancun, Mexico, at the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change conference, COP16, the 16th time that the Conference of the Parties have met. What are we trying to do? We're trying to put as many factors as we can in place to seal a global deal on climate change. That won't happen here in Cancun, but there's a possibility that we can make it happen for the meeting in 12 months' time in South Africa. Yesterday, Ireland made a commitment of 23 million in development aid. Essentially, it's a contribution to a new United Nations fund that will go towards adaptation, mitigation and forestry. 23 million in that fund. It'll help developing countries to cope with the real challenges that climate change brings. And while obviously there's an austerity programme in place in Ireland, there is sheer raw poverty in developing countries around the world, and that is exacerbated by the effects of climate change. That's why Ireland is making that commitment here in Cancun. Looking ahead, we want to see some progress in the talks that finish up on Friday evening, and given that the level of expectation was so low, I'm hopeful that we can achieve some progress. We also, back at home, are working on the Climate Change Act, and we hope to publish that before Christmas. Essentially, it'll put in place a way to reduce carbon emissions over the next few years. There'll be a scientific committee that will decide what departments will have to reduce their emissions the most. Obviously, emissions have fallen in the last year, but that's more due to economic recession. What we want to do is use this opportunity to lock in economic development that isn't tied into an increase in carbon emissions. I'm Ciarán Cuffe, Green Party TD for Dún Laoghaire and Minister of State with responsibility for climate change at the climate change talks here in Cancun in Mexico.